Hello everyone, this is Abishiekh Jain and I welcome you all to my new video. And in this video, I'm going to speak about my 24-day trip to China. Like right from getting the invitation to sitting in the plane at 7 in the morning, reaching Kuala Lumpur, having a layover for like 7 to 8 hours, and then going to Shenzhen, waiting another 8 hours for my friend to arrive, and how was the event there, like, and how I survived for like 24 days, and everything that happened in the course of 24 days, right? From being rich to being poor to learning a lot of new things, learning how to be independent, and all the stuff. I would be explaining everything in this particular video. So let's get started. So a lot of people are actually telling me from a very long time that why don't you make a video on your China trip, on how was your experience for 24 days, what are things you learned over there and whatnot. Like every day I used to get all the DMs, all the WhatsApp messages and some professional messages on LinkedIn as well, that why don't you make the videos, and I often replied very late to them because actually I didn't have the time to reply even on those days, because I was kind of very busy in these 3-4 months, because I was doing a very big project with someone, not like a big project like artificial intelligence or stuff, but yeah, certainly big to make myself some money. And yeah, I was working on that, and plus I know it's very late for me to upload this video because it's December right now, and I went to China on July something, and it's like almost 5 months, and I'm really sorry to everyone who requested to make a video and I couldn't actually deliver it, but here I am right now. And without any further ado, let's start the video. So before starting this video, I want to tell all my viewers here that the whole China trip costed only around 1 lakh, which includes my flight tickets up and down, my hotel accommodation, my daily living expenses, buying some gifts for my family and my friends, and my food expenses over there, like even whatever food I had to buy, like even a coffee or even a french fries if I had to buy, I had to spend in yuan. So everything included that. For 24 days I just spent around 1 lakh, not even 1 lakh, perhaps even below that, like around only 80,000 or something. So yeah, this is one of the kind of proudest achievement for me, that I spent in a different country alone for 24 days with only just 80,000 rupees, with just spending only 80,000 rupees. So that's kind of a very great deal, I believe. So yeah, let's get started now. Finally, let's get started, please. Okay, so the phase 1, getting the invitation. So I got the invitation around February or something with Surya Promote recommending my name to the API team, and they sent me an invitation, and I had to make some video in order to get accepted in their program. And I made a video, and they fortunately accepted me, and I was very excited, like because this is the first time I'm going abroad. Prior to that, I missed 2 opportunities going abroad. The first one was Berlin, where I had this affiliate marketing conference in around 2017 or 16. I don't remember the year, but yeah, that was my first abroad trip I missed. And the second thing, which was New Jersey, which was also the same event, not affiliate, not under the same company but different company, and it was in New Jersey, and I was invited on the board, but I couldn't go unfortunately because I didn't have a passport that time. And I still cry over that fate, because if I had gone to Berlin or New Jersey at that time, then probably life would be a big change for me right now. But anyway, past is past, and I should not dwell on my past regrets, and even my future regret. Like this thing, this is today is December 13, and on this very day, there was the event going on in San Francisco. I even missed that. Like there was a 3 days event, December 11th, 12th and 13th, growth marketing conference in San Francisco, and I was eventually invited for that as well, and I couldn't go it due to unfortunate circumstances, but it's fine. So in total, I missed 3 opportunities, 2 prior China and 1 after China, abroad opportunities because of various reasons, and but it's okay. But it's okay. And this San Francisco event which I'm talking about is just recent. It's just this year. I got the invitation on February when I got the invitation from China as well, and I started preparing and focusing more on China because China was near, and I completely forgot about San Francisco until on November 11 or something. I remember it during my mom's birthday. I was just going to my calendar. I just checked my calendar and I'm like, shit. Anyway, let's not dwell on my regrets right now, and let's focus back on China trip. So the phase one, getting the invitation stuff. So I was eventually invited, and like I was accepted in just February or March itself, and I had like around 3-4 months to plan myself, but I actually didn't utilize any of the months because I'm a kind of person who doesn't believe in planning stuff before executing it. I do it on randomly, on spontaneous. Like, I'll give you a quick question. Just let me know in the comments below. You're about to go to China, okay, like 5 months before. How long you would start packing? Of course, around like 3-4 months, or even 2 months, or even 1 month at least. I started like 2-3 weeks ago. That's it, 2-3 weeks, and I made my visa around a month ago. Not even a month ago, I guess. No, that was not even a month ago. I got it around like my visa. I got it around in a week, like before I was going to China. So that was my situation. I'm such a random and spontaneous person. I couldn't actually believe in plans, and even if I have a to-do list or if I have a plan, I cannot execute it very properly because I have experimented it. So I'm not saying that plans or to-do list doesn't work, but of course people differ, people are different, and they all have different perspectives. So I have a different one. So maybe some of you might can relate, and some of you might can trash me. Anyway. So then I got all these invitation stuff, and before a month or before a week, something like 2-3 weeks ago, I started actually packing my stuff, and I started actually getting serious about this event. Okay, Surya was very serious about this event, but I was not kind of that serious. I was just excited that okay, fine, 24 days I'm going to be in China, not for the event, but of course to live, to go in abroad alone, and it was like the excitement was there, but I didn't show it much. It was there inside me, so yeah. But getting the invitation, and that too getting recommended by someone, is one of the biggest and proudest moment for me. And I still thank Surya Pramod for actually inviting me and giving me this wonderful opportunity. And thank you so much, buddy. If you hadn't invited me, I would have missed this beautiful opportunity and even amazing stay with you, man. So that's the phase one. Okay, now phase two. So the phase two is the flight thing. Like, how was my flight experience, and then how was the stay, the layover in Kuala Lumpur and everything. So let's start on that. So basically, I booked my flight tickets prior, like 2-3 weeks before the event, and yeah. So that's it. That's not much about. Let's not get that into detail, like how I booked and all that stuff. Okay, so I booked the flight tickets and everything was good. And on that day, my flight was around like 7-10 a.m. And I was still sleeping at 4 in the morning. And my dad is waking me up like hell. Like, man, are you serious? You have a flight to catch at 7, and that's a China flight, and you're still sleeping at 4. So I'm like all groggy and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to wake up now. I have to go and to China. Oh shit, damn. Okay, so I quickly, brushed myself and got ready in within 20-25 minutes, and I just left by bidding goodbye to my mom and dad and my small sister, and went in the taxi, and it was like clean, very clean road. I mean, like no traffic, and I reached airport around just 20-25 minutes, and yeah, I was on time, and I was waiting in the airport itself. So yeah, everything was good, and one more special thing which I want to add is I did not get a normal tourist visa for my China trip because I applied very late, and the visa guy told me that apply for the business visa, and he also told me to be kind of a bit careful if you have business visa and you just turned 18, so kind of be a bit careful. I'm like, okay, so I got this business visa, and there were some questions asked at the counter itself, the Indian counter itself. They asked me like, why you all going there, what's your purpose and all that, and it's fine, I answered whatever it was, and as Indians they left me. So yeah, so the flight experience, I sat on a flight and the flight experience was very pathetic because of course I have opted for cheap travel, Air Asia, what else can you expect? So cheap travel just because I want it to be in a budgeted in a budgeted way, and I don't want to spend a lot of more things on things that I would like to spend on experiences. So I just spend like on kind of budgeted airline. And we had a layover of 7 to 8 hours at Kuala Lumpur. So I reached Kuala Lumpur, and like trust me, the security, the the checking point, the checking counter, everything, whatever you call that, it's so strict. I mean, they are like so so strict and so tough. Like you cannot actually fool them or whatever it is. Like I cannot explain my experience because that was very kind of scary one, because the lady inspector there, she actually kind of threatened me as well. Like I fumble in getting my laptop and all that stuff, and she's like, get it fast, get it done quickly, passengers will be there. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry, I'm leaving. That kind of shit scared me. So I waited at Kuala Lumpur for like 8 hours, I don't know the exact time, and I idled my time mostly reading books and just roaming around the airport, just seeing what it was and eating snacks and just staring at people. And because of course they should stare at me, but no one was actually giving a damn about me, so I was staring people to make them feel uncomfortable. Anyway, so the Kuala Lumpur thing, I had a stay first, then I had a flight around again at night, early morning, I don't remember, and I reached Shenzhen around 4 a.m. in the morning, 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and I again had to wait for around 8 hours for my friend Surya to arrive, because he took another plane to come, as he lived in another part of the city. So he took another plane to come, and we both decided to leave together from the airport. So I have to wait another 8 hours, and in this Shenzhen airport, it was damn freezing cold, man. I could not even sleep, and I actually slept on the benches over there. So I also had this feeling of being the poor guy, like of course, like a homeless person who, like right, what I'm talking about. So yeah. So I slept on this one, but that was kind of exotic one. It wasn't that like I was sleeping on the floor, but I was sleeping on a bench, and it was kind of good one. But it was so cold, like it was fully centralized, and the air was too cold. I mean, like it was very cold for me. I was freezing cold, and my blankets and everything were in my bag, and I don't want to mess it up by taking it from the right down. So I used a towel. Yeah. I used a towel to wrap my legs because I was feeling very cold in my legs, and but I couldn't sleep, okay, because I was kind of very scared what will happen and if I sleep like this, but I saw some locals sleeping like that, so that kind of gave me confidence. But I still I felt a bit uncomfortable, so I was actually roaming the Shenzhen airport itself. And like 5 in the morning, and I was just roaming, and I was just talking to these officers of China, and it was like very cute, like they were like actually they're very helpful in nature. Like they can go to any extent just to help you. So like they could understand my language and I couldn't understand their language, so there was like technology came to rescue, and it helped us to translate like the voice recording, and it was very fun. So that was my first encounter with the Chinese locals out there, and it was very good. I was roaming around in search of food because I was kind of hungry, and I didn't, and all my snacks were piled up, and I didn't want to make a uncommon scene over there of chirping biscuits or something, and I don't want that. So I kind of went, and I was looking for a good place to eat, but of course it was Shenzhen, and there was no vegetarian place to eat at all, even in the airport. It was all non-veg, except for McDonald's, which also includes veg. So thank God. But McDonald's wasn't open by 5 anyway. So I was just going back, and there was this guy, this Australian guy I met there, and it was accidentally. He was just sitting, and I just went, and I just struck up a conversation like, "What's up?" and like, "What are you doing here?" and stuff. So He told me that he's an entrepreneur who is doing a clothing business and all that stuff, and how he exports, so how he imports from China, Thailand, Bangkok, and whatever it was. He was telling me about his business and all this stuff, and I was kind of very fascinated. And we talked about for an hour or two. I attached a picture with him right next to me, so you can just see that. So this was a guy, and he was very sweet guy, and I really liked talking with him. Anyway, so I managed to get all my more 7 hours I completed, the 7 hours at the Shenzhen airport, and finally my friend Surya Pramod arrives. And we together book a taxi, not book a taxi, but there's an airport taxi out there. And of course, I will tell you one scam of course, this happens everywhere in the country, but this happened with us as well. So we were in the Shenzhen airport, we had a group of 4 people, and we were actually looking for a taxi to go back to our hotel, sorry. And there were a lot of taxi drivers which are coming inside the airport, and they were telling 400 yuan, 500 yuan, and I'm like, that's kind of cheap. I don't know how far it was, so I thought it was kind of cheap. So I almost bought in, but then something struck up, and we decided not to go with these taxi drivers, and we decided to come out, and there was a huge line for airport taxis. So you just have to sit in there, and you take wherever you want, and it's like post-paid taxi. It's like how much is the meter there, and you pay. So we paid only 87 yuan. 400 yuans, 87 yuans. The difference, huge. So that was about my flight experience. So let's now move to phase number 3. Okay, now so moving to phase 3. Okay, anyway, in this phase 3, 2, 1, it sounds kind of creepy and it sounds boring. So I won't bore you with telling about all the phases, but I would be just summarizing a bit like of everything in just one this thing. So I hope by this I won't be boring you guys. So I just came out of the flight, we reached to my apartment, and it was amazing. It was on the 24th floor or 20th floor, I'm not sure. It was on 20th or 24th floor, and the view from that floor was amazing. It was very mesmerizing. Plus there was a Walmart just next to it, and such neatly organized everything on the road, and people walking only on footpaths, the car moving in a very calm manner. It was all very good to see. We were kind of tired, so we dozed off a bit, but we again have to wake up because there was a kind of informal meetup with all the APIA participants at some nearby place. So we kind of headed to there, and it was very fun, and we had dinner together. Like, of course, I'm a vegetarian and rest all were non-vegetarian, but it was kind of difficult for me. But there were fruits, and I like fruits. So yeah, so that's the thing. I just ate fruits over there, but the experience was amazing. Then we went to some boat restaurant or something, where the restaurant is actually on a boat itself, and it was a very kind of good thing. It was incredible. Then we met a lot of good people out there, a kind of informal meet, and I reached my apartment back at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. I'm not sure. And we just came and we just slept because we had an event the next day. And the next day was very excited, and I was all geared up. Like, I was kind of expecting a lot of new things to learn from that event, but of course expectations hurt. But it's fine. But before coming to that, I will let you know what APIA is. So APIA stands for Asia Pacific Innovation Academy. So it is basically an event where lots of entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs, like more than 250 plus participants came from across 50 countries around the globe to come there to create an idea, develop that idea, hire people and bring them to your team, pitch your idea to the investors, pitch your idea to customers, and then ultimately the final and a good one wins. So that was the core concept of API, and I was kind of very fascinated about this, but of course it's not always what it is shown, right? So it was kind of I won't say it was a great or it was bad, but it was kind of a mediocre event. And of course, as I say in all my posts, that you cannot expect a lot from these events. Like, you cannot expect a lot of knowledge to be gained from these events, because I shouldn't use this word, but these kind of events are mostly bullshit, and it actually doesn't matter. It just kind of looks cool, but it actually doesn't matter. But yeah, one thing always matters is the people who come to these type of events, like the skillful people, and go and strike a conversation, and you meet somebody very skillful and you make a connection with them. So that is something the biggest takeaway from these type of events. And I have made a lot of connections at the APIA, and I'm still thankful to APIA for letting me to come to the event. And actually finding a lot of new connections, which I'm connected to with them still now, and we still chat regularly. So that's the kind of thing these events you should look for. And as I say always, that that network is your net worth. So believe in that. So yeah, so that's what it was all about. Then the first day was kind of very excited because we came to the event, and in the hall itself there were lots of podiums, and with a poster of what the startup is, and they were actually pitching the idea to the other people so that they can join the team. So it was all fun and packed up, and it was good running here and there, listening to all the ideas and getting into the idea which we like, and it was kind of good. But but the excitement was over for me on the day one itself, because as being an entrepreneur, I've seen the struggle, but in these type of events you don't see the struggle out there. You don't actually have to see the struggle, but in reality you have to face a lot of struggle. In these type of events, it is portrayed that how easily it can be done if you follow all these principles, if you upload these documents, if you make all these documents, if you plan properly, you get everything done. But that's not how it works in real life, because I've experienced that too. So probably if you are experienced and then you see these type of things coming your way, then you kind of feel like okay. So yeah, that was the biggest disadvantage for this event, but everything else was fine, and the day one was good. And a lot of eminent speakers came over there, and I made a lot of connections with speakers as well, and it was very good. So this part of the event you cannot actually afford to miss. So if you attend these type of events, make sure that you attend. Forget the information you get from them, but make sure you make the right connections. You should go and strike the conversation, and who knows, you might be your business partner in your next startup. So this how great impact these type of events create. So yeah, it was a 15-day event, and including the Saturdays, Sundays, because Saturdays and Sundays were off for this event, and including that it was to a total of 24. So you cannot expect anyone to be a fully versatile entrepreneur or see the struggle in just 15 days. You cannot actually even create a startup in 15 days, but that's what they advertised. So that was a very false advertising, because a lot of budding entrepreneurs over there might have fallen for this, and they thought that if you do these things, you might be the great entrepreneur or the founder of the great startup. But that's not how it works. So anyway, it was up to them, but that was an amazing experience still to a date, because that was my first foreign experience, going alone to a different country for the first time, and managing myself on own. So everything was good. So this was the event about, and because of this kind of atmosphere in the event, I kind of actually didn't attend many of those days, because I was actually wasting time, like from 9 a.m. in the morning till 8 p.m. in the night. I was actually wasting in doing nothing productive. So some of the days I took it off, and I actually went out and explored Shenzhen. And that was the best decision I ever took, because my roommates who were attending the event, they told us how bad it was, and even I could sense from their frustration, because that's really bad and you cannot actually achieve anything from that. And the fun part is, I was not fired, you cannot call the word fired, because because in some way I was almost in the 3 startups. Okay, the first not 4 startups of course. The first startup we presented it, I along with Surya presented the first startup of us, and the idea eventually got rejected because the idea because we had 4 Indians in our team, and the rule was that not more of 2 people of the same nationality can be in a team. So that idea was kind of rejected, and then I moved on to the second startup where there was this girl and everything, and it was going smooth. I was doing a lot of work. I created this marketing plan and how are you going to market the product and what's the revenue model for this product. I created everything, and then things didn't work out. She's like, I get angry too soon, because of course I would get angry if you're not doing work. Of course I would get angry, and you're just complaining that you do all the work. And of course I don't want to get into the details, but yeah, I was kind of got out from that as well in a mutual agreement, and then I went on a third, and the third startup which I went dissolved automatically because 2 of the members flew back home because they didn't like the atmosphere there, so they flew back home, and that kind of dissolved itself. So at the fourth, I was kind of hopeless, so I just was roaming and I was just helping some people around, and until the fourth startup I was introduced as a replacement for some other person who was leaving to their hometown because of some emergency. And that last team was actually fun working with because they were all enthusiastic and they were all working together, and it was good. The work was divided, so everything was good. So yeah, that was my story of getting into 4 startups, and that's a kind of funny one. And in these course of 24 days, I usually stayed up on caffeine. No food actually, because I was mostly up on my coffee all the time, like at least 3 or 4 coffees per day. That's a minimum, of course I'm talking, that's a minimum, and you can see how much caffeine I took in those 24 days, and that was so bad. But anyway, I had no other choice because I actually survived on plain rice for 24 days. Can you imagine plain rice without even ghee, without even puri, without even anything, just plain rice for 24 days. Of course, there's a McDonald's down there, and I used to have ice cream every single day. No matter, even if I had throat infection, I would have ice cream every single day. And so, but the food problem was kind of very difficult for me because getting plain vegetarian food anywhere was not a choice at all. But of course, I did got some restaurants which were offering vegetarian food and delicious Indian food, so it was kind of good, but very tough. Like, I just went to that restaurant like 4 or 5 times on my 24-day trip because my money was too high. I don't want to spend like 1,000 or 2,000 rupees just on one roti and one paneer butter masala. So I just don't want to spend money on that. So I kind of starved myself. Sometimes I actually packed 15 kilos of food from my home, so I didn't have to worry much about that because I had biscuits and all that stuff in my bag all the time. So yeah. Coming to the part where I told you that I didn't attend those events on many days, and what I did in those days was I went and explored Shenzhen, the beautiful city. I went and explored the different parts of Shenzhen, like the Daffin oil painting village, where I went and explored how great painters sit there in the roads and create amazing paintings for you just for like nominal rate. It was around like 500 or 700 yuan. It was like 5,000 or 7,000 rupees. It was kind of nominal rate because they were actually painting a portrait of yours right in front of you. It was very good, and that part of Shenzhen was kind of very old, very retro type of feel, because the most of the Shenzhen was kind of very technologically advanced, and this part was completely like the old Chinese tradition type. So that was the first thing. And of course I went to Hoshing Bay, like Wang Bay, for more than 8 times in my 24 course day, and it was best place I have ever been to, the electronic market of China. I know the video has been too long, like approximately 30 minutes, and in some parts of the video I have stretched a lot. I mean, on that particular topic I have connected with some other topic, and I was just speaking about it, and I didn't had a count on the time, like what's the time going on and how many minutes I was speaking. So but no worries, that all came from my heart, and I'll stop this video right now and I'll upload another video. This is the part 1 video, and I'll upload another video which will be part 2 of my China trip. And in part 2 there won't be any much points stretched or something, and it would be just up to the mark and up to the point, and that's it, and not much extra bullshit. So yes, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching the part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you so much.